Before we begin, I just want you to know this. If you're here because you're hurting or confused or wondering if any of it was real, you're not alone. Let's talk. I got a message last week that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. Someone asked me, do narcissists ever change? And honestly, I sat with that question for days because I think when we ask that question, we're not really asking what we think we're asking. We're not asking for statistics or psychological theory. We're asking because there's this ache inside us that needs to know if any of it was real, if any of it mattered. If we wasted years of our life on someone who was never going to meet us halfway, and maybe a part of us is still holding on to this tiny thread of hope that one day they'll wake up and go, oh my God, what did I do? What did I lose? I get it. I really do. Because I used to believe that too. I used to think that if I just loved them hard enough, patient enough, gently enough, that something in them would finally soften, that they'd see me, that they'd choose me, that they'd change. I thought my love could heal them, and that belief, it kept me there way longer than I should have stayed. So let's talk about this. Not in a clinical way, not in a detached way, but in the real, messy, human way that this question actually lives inside of us. Here's the thing. Most of us don't ask, can they change? Because we're still hoping to get back together. We ask because we need to make sense of what happened. We need to know if the person we fell in love with in the beginning, the one who made us feel like we were the center of their universe, if that person was ever real. We need to know if the love bombing meant something, if those late night conversations were genuine, if the version of them who looked into our eyes and said, I've never felt this way before, actually felt anything at all. Because if they didn't, then what does that say about us? For a lot of us, the question, can they change, is actually code for, did I matter to them? Was I enough? Did they ever really love me? Was it all a performance? And those questions, they don't come from weakness. They come from being someone who loved deeply, someone who tried, someone who gave everything they had and still walked away wondering if they could have done more. That's not weakness. That's being human. So, do narcissists ever change? Here's the truth, and I'm going to say it as gently as I can. They can, but almost none of them ever do. And I'm not saying that to be cruel. I'm saying it because I wish someone had told me this years ago. I wish someone had sat me down and said, hey, you can't save this person, and trying to is going to break you. Real change, like actual transformation, requires 3 things: self-awareness, accountability, and consistent effort over a long period of time. And if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you already know those are the exact things they struggle with most. Self-awareness, they don't look inward, they look outward. They point fingers, they rewrite history. In their version of events, everyone else is the problem. Accountability, forget it. Admitting fault feels like death to them. It cracks the image they've spent their whole life protecting. Consistency? They can't even be consistent with their own emotions, let alone their behavior. You know that saying, you can't fix what you won't acknowledge? That's why so few narcissists change. Because in their mind, there's nothing to fix. You're the one who's too sensitive. You're the one who doesn't understand them. You're the one who keeps bringing up the past. They genuinely don't believe they need to change. And this is the part that might sting a little, but I think you need to hear it. Your love is beautiful, as pure, as powerful as it is cannot heal a narcissist. Your patience can't fix them. Your loyalty can't open their heart. Your understanding can't teach them empathy. I know that's hard to accept, especially if you're someone who loves the way we do deeply, hopefully. with everything you've got. Because for people like us, love is healing. Love is the thing that grows us. Love is where we find home. But for a narcissist, love doesn't work that way. Love doesn't penetrate the walls they've built. It doesn't reach the wounded parts of them. It doesn't land in the places that need it most. I used to think if I just stayed calm during the chaos, if I forgave one more time, if I showed up consistently, no matter what they did, eventually they'd see me. They'd finally understand what real love feels like. They'd soften, but they didn't. And it wasn't because I didn't try hard enough. It wasn't because I wasn't enough. It's because love doesn't cure denial. Love doesn't cure entitlement. Love doesn't teach someone how to feel empathy. Narcissists don't change because someone loves them. They change if they change because of consequences. And I need to be really clear about something here. Really clear. You cannot heal a narcissist by staying longer, sacrificing more, absorbing their shame, explaining away their trauma, forgiving endlessly, being strong enough for both of you. I know you've tried those things. I know because I tried them too. But here's what I learned the hard way. That doesn't help them. It protects them. It protects them from consequences. And consequences, not love, not patience, not understanding. Consequences are the only thing that ever leads to real change. When you stay and absorb everything, when you explain their behavior to other people, when you cover for them, when you accommodate them, when you shrink yourself to keep the peace, you're not being compassionate. You're not being strong. You're being exhausted. And worse than that, you're slowly teaching yourself to abandon yourself. Every time you put their comfort above your pain, every time you swallow your feelings to avoid their rage, every time you tell yourself, maybe this time will be different, you're choosing them over you. And while you're doing that, they're learning they never have to face themselves. They're learning that no matter what they do, you'll still be there. They're learning that their behavior has no real cost. Healing, real healing, is something they have to walk into alone. You can't drag them there. You can't guide them there. You can't bleed for them until they finally wake up and see what you've sacrificed. That's not love. That's self-erasure. And I say this with so much gentleness. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Now, here's the part that messes people up. Sometimes they do change. For a moment, you finally set a boundary, or you leave, or they sense they're losing control, and suddenly they transform. They apologize. They cry. They say all the right things. They even admit they were wrong. And it feels so real. It feels like, oh my God, this is it. This is the breakthrough. They finally get it. But here's what I've learned, and this is important. That change, it's almost always temporary. A few days, a few weeks, maybe a month if you're lucky. And then slowly, so slowly, you almost don't notice it. At first they start sliding back. The kindness fades. The effort disappears. The patterns return. And suddenly you're right back where you started, wondering what you did wrong. But you didn't do anything wrong. Their change was never real change. It was a reaction to losing you, a reaction to being called out, a reaction to consequences, a reaction to fear not growth. Real change is built on consistency. A narcissist's change is built on panic, and the second the panic fades, so does the effort. Moments look like progress. Moments feel like hope. Moments make you want to believe again. But moments aren't transformation. And consistency is something they've never learned how to hold on to. Okay, so let me be fair here. Can a narcissist truly change? Yes, it's possible. But it's rare, like really rare. It usually takes something massive, something so painful they can't ignore it, deny it, or blame someone else for it. Losing their marriage, losing access to their kids, losing their job, losing their reputation, hitting rock bottom in a way they can't escape. Something big enough to crack the false identity they've been hiding behind their entire life. And even then, it takes years of therapy, years of sitting with uncomfortable truths, years of learning how to feel things they've spent a lifetime avoiding. Most people, not just narcissists, but most people don't willingly walk into that kind of emotional work. So, yes, it's possible, but don't hold your breath. So, here's what I really want you to hear. And I mean this deeply, gently, from the bottom of my heart. Their change is not your job. Their healing is not your responsibility. Their growth is not something you can create, inspire, or force into existence. If you stayed because you believed your love could save them, that doesn't make you naive. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you foolish. It makes you someone who loved with hope, someone who believed in people, someone who gave everything they had, and there is nothing wrong with that. But their wounds, their patterns, their refusal to look at themselves, those were never yours to carry. And even if they do eventually change, even if 5 years from now they go to therapy and do the work and become a different person, it won't undo what you went through. It won't erase the nights you cried yourself to sleep. It won't give you back the years you spent waiting for them to choose you. Their potential transformation doesn't validate your pain, and it doesn't mean you should have stayed. So, can narcissists change? They can, but most of them won't, and the small percentage who try will struggle to sustain it. And you cannot spend your life waiting for someone to become the person you always hoped they'd be. You deserve someone who chooses growth because they want to grow, not because losing you scared them into it. You deserve peace that doesn't depend on someone else's healing journey. You deserve stability that doesn't collapse every few weeks. You deserve love that doesn't require you to save anyone. Let their path be theirs. Let your healing be yours. And maybe, just maybe, this is the moment you finally stop trying to rescue someone who never once showed up to save themselves. You gave enough. You tried enough. You loved enough. Now it's time to give all of that to yourself.